Thank you to Logitech and Discord for bringing us to PAX East 2016 this year. If you want to see all of their stuff, click their link in the video description down below. So we are at the Intel booth checking out the Skull Canyon. The last time they released something with the name of Skull in it, it was the Skull Trail, and that was freaking badass. And so is this. We've talked about it on the WAN show before, but now I finally get to see it in real life. Let's check it out. The main awesome thing about the Skull Canyon is its size and what it's able to do within the restrictions of its size. This thing is 0.74 liters of total volume, which is less than 2 pop cans. For more exact dimensions, it's 211 by 116 by 28 millimeters. Not inches or centimeters, millimeters. This thing is tiny. In terms of internal hardware, which is I know what you all want to hear about, it has an i7-6770 HQ processor running at 2.6 gigahertz at the TDP all day rating, which is where it's able to comfortably sit all the time, or when it boosts up, it can go up to 3.4 gigahertz. For expandability, it has 2 SODIMM slots and can go up to 32 gigabytes and currently supports 2133 megahertz for total speed. For drive expandability, you have 2 M.2 slots which are able to fully support the full speed of a 950 Pro, so you don't really have to worry about storage speeds either. In terms of I/O, on the front you have an SD card slot, a power button, 2 USB 3.0 ports, one of which is a charging port, so while it's off it can still charge one of your devices, a headphone jack, and an IR receiver. On the back you have power in, a headphone/optical microphone jack, an RJ45 Ethernet gigabit port, 2 USB 3.0 ports, a display port, a USB 3.1 Type-C connector, and HDMI 2.0 for full 4K 60 Hz. On the right-hand side, you have a metal reinforced Kensington Lock, which is awesome because if it was just plain plastic, someone would just be able to rip it off the Kensington Lock, which kind of defeats the purpose. On the bottom, for when you're taking it apart, there's captive screws, so you unscrew them and they actually stay connected to the plate, which is great, because losing little tiny screws is super frustrating. And you have replaceable faceplates on the top, so you can have the awesome faceplate with the skull on it, which I highly recommend you use, or if you needed it more like a business application where you don't want to have skulls on things, you do have the matte plate, which does still feature the hexagon pattern on the left-hand side, which is super awesome. And if you take that plate off of the top, you have more expanded I/O for if you want to put this thing in your own custom chassis or you just don't need the top cover for whatever reason. That I/O is a USB 3.0 header, which is not the standard one you'd find in a desktop, so you might have to go looking for a custom part for that. A common I/O header, which supports USB 2.0, lights, switches, all that kind of stuff, and possibly an NFC header, but that's not necessarily finalized at this point. For wireless, you have Intel Wireless AC, which is probably what you expected, and for power, you have 120 watt power from the wall, which is running at 19 volts and 6.3 amps. It actually usually only pulls like 60 to 65 watts, but that extra expanded wattage is there for things that might need to be powered over Thunderbolt. Speaking of Thunderbolt, you can do some pretty awesome stuff. So that's nice and small, but if you want to expand it with a dedicated graphics card, you can get something like the Razer Core, run that Thunderbolt connection to it, and run what they're currently running, which is an R9 Nano. You can fit full-size graphics cards in here, but they're running a Nano. Nanos are great. I love Nanos. That's completely fine. And you can do stuff like run Just Cause 3 completely fine. It's not even that easy of a game to run, and they're running it no problemo. So that sounds pretty sick, but when can you get your hands on one? Well, they have pre-orders right now on Newegg, but they won't be shipping until sometime in May. Not entirely sure when during that month, but it's May. That's probably fine. It's about $650 US suggested retail price. Not entirely sure exactly how much it's going to cost, and that is the bare bones system, so without any memory and without any storage space. So if you are interested, check out Newegg.com. They have them for pre-order right now. Just search up Skull Canyon. Thank you to Logitech and Discord for sending us to PAX East 2016 this year to check out all of Logitech's hardware like mice, keyboards, headphones, racing wheels, whatever. They're all in the video description down below. And Discord's awesome. They have free voice and chat servers. You can set one up, you can join someone else's, do whatever you want. Check them out in the video description down below as well. See all the rest of our terribly voiced PAX East 2016 content. Subscribe. I'm going to try to get some cough drops. I'll see you guys next time.